Hey there, I'm Amanda Galbraith with Arkansas Property Management and Real Estate. And if you're watching this video, you're probably getting ready to sell your home somewhere here in Central Arkansas. Maybe Little Rock, North Little Rock, Maumelle, Sherwood, Jacksonville, Cabot, Bryan, or Benton. And you've got a question that honestly not enough people ask before they just pick someone. The question is, how do I actually find a highly rated real estate agent? Here's the thing, and I'm going to be really honest with you throughout this video. Choosing the right agent can mean the difference between a smooth, profitable sale and months of frustration, missed opportunities, and leaving money on the table. I've been in this industry for 16 years and I've seen it go both ways. I've helped sellers who came to me after their listing expired with another agent. I've worked with folks who were so burned by a bad experience that they almost didn't want to try again. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly what to look for and what to avoid, and how to find an agent who's actually going to deliver results specifically here in our Central Arkansas market. Because finding a great agent in Los Angeles or Miami, that's a different conversation. We're talking about our neighborhoods today. So let's get into it. Why your agent choice actually matters. Before we talk about how to find a great agent, let's talk about why this decision is so important. Because I think some people assume that all agents are basically the same. You just list the house, it goes on the MLS, and someone buys it, right? Not exactly. Your agent is your advocate, your negotiator, your marketing strategist, and your guide through what is probably one of the largest financial transactions of your life. The average home price here in Central Arkansas, depending on where you are, might be somewhere between $200,000 $350,000, and that's not a small number. And here's what a lot of people don't realize. The difference between a good agent and a not so good agent isn't just about whether your house sells. It's about how fast it sells, how much it sells for, and how stressful the process is for you. Let me give you a real example. I've worked with sellers who came to me after their home sat on the market for months with another agent. No showings, no offers, no communication about what was happening or what might need to be changed. When we took over, we repositioned the property, implemented a real marketing strategy, and got it sold. That's not me saying I'm magic. That's me saying strategy matters. The agent you choose and the approach they take, it makes a real difference in your home. And on the flip side, I've seen sellers rush into signing with an agent because they were a friend of a friend, or because they seemed nice, or because they were the first person to respond. And then 3 months later, they're frustrated. The house hasn't sold, and now they're stuck in a listing agreement with someone who isn't getting the job done. So, yeah, this decision matters. Let's make sure you get it right. What highly rated really means. Okay, so you want to find a highly rated agent, but what does that actually mean? When most people think of ratings, they think of Google reviews or Zillow reviews or maybe Realtor.com. And look, reviews are part of the picture. I'm not saying to ignore them, but they're not the whole story. And here's why. Reviews are easy to accumulate if you've been in the business a long time, and they can also be, let's say, curated. Some agents are really good at asking happy clients for reviews. Others just aren't. That doesn't necessarily mean that one is better than the other. So instead of just looking at a star rating, I want you to think about highly rated in the broader sense. Think about track record. Does this agent actually sell homes? How many transactions did they close last year? And more importantly, what's their average days on market? That tells you how efficiently they're pricing and marketing properties. If an agent's listings are sitting for 90 days on average while the market average is 45, that's a red flag. Reputation among other professionals, this one's underrated. What do lenders, title companies, inspectors, and other agents think of this person? Real estate is a relationship business. If an agent has a reputation for being difficult to work with, that can actually hurt you in negotiation. Client experience. This goes beyond, did the house sell? Did the clients feel informed throughout the process? Did they understand what was happening and why? Were their calls and texts returned promptly? Local expertise. Does this agent actually know your specific market? Central Arkansas is not one homogeneous area. The buyers in Maumelle are looking different from buyers looking in Jacksonville. The pricing dynamics in Hillcrest are different from what's happening in Benton. You want someone who understands the nuances of your area. So when I say highly rated, I'm talking about more than stores on a website. I'm talking about an agent who delivers results, communicates well, knows the local market, and has a strong professional reputation. Local considerations for Central Arkansas. Speaking of local expertise, let's talk about specifically what matters here in Central Arkansas, because this is a unique market and you deserve an agent who actually understands it. First, let's talk about the diversity of our area. We've got everything from historic homes in the Heights and Hillcrest, construction in Maumelle and Cabot. We've got lakefront properties, we've got acreage, we've got investment properties, we've got starter homes. The Central Arkansas market is incredibly varied. And that means you need an agent who knows how to position your property for your specific neighborhood and buyer pool. For example, if you're selling in Maumelle, your agent should understand that buyers there are often looking for quality schools, family-friendly neighborhoods, and proximity to both Little Rock and Conway. If you're selling in Sherwood or Jacksonville, there's a significant military-connected buyer pool because of the airbase. If you're in Bryant or Benton, you've got buyers that want that Saline County lifestyle, but still want access to be able to go to Little Rock for work. Your agent should know these things intuitively, and they should be able to explain to you exactly how they're going to market your property to reach those specific buyers. Another local consideration, our market moves in cycles and seasons, just like anywhere else, but with our own unique patterns. Spring is typically our hottest selling season, and summers can slow down a bit when families are focused on vacations and getting kids ready for school. Understanding these rhythms helps with pricing, strategy, and timing. Also, and this is important, Central Arkansas is still a very relationship-driven market. We're not New York City. People here care about working with someone they trust, someone who's part of the community. The agent you choose should have genuine connections here. They should know other agents, know the lenders, know the inspectors. That network matters when you're trying to get a deal closed. So, when you're evaluating potential agents, ask them, what do you know about my specific area? What's your strategy for reaching buyers who want to live here? If they give you a generic answer that could apply to any market in America, that should be a yellow flag. Some red flags to watch for. All right, so let's get into the warning signs. What should make you think twice about an agent before you sign that listing agreement? Red flag number 1, poor communication. This is the single biggest complaint I hear from sellers who've had bad experience with previous agents, and I hear it constantly. They'll say things like, I never knew what was happening. I had to chase them down for updates. They didn't return my calls for days. Look, selling your home is stressful enough without feeling like you're in the dark. A good agent is proactive about communication. They're not waiting for you to call them. They're reaching out to you with updates, feedback from showings, and different market insight. When you're interviewing agents, pay attention to how they communicate with you before you've hired them. Are they responsive? Are they clear? Do they follow through when they say they'll do something? Because that's exactly what you're going to get once you've signed. I'll be honest, I've had lenders tell me that one of the things they appreciate about working with me is that I set very clear expectations with my clients from day one. Everyone knows what's happening and when. That's not me bragging. That's me telling you what you should expect from any agent that you work with. Red flag number 2, there's no clear marketing plan. If an agent can't clearly articulate to you how they're going to market your home, run. Seriously. We'll put it on the MLS and we'll see what happens. It's not a marketing plan. That's just listing your house and hoping for the best. A real marketing plan should include professional photography at an absolute minimum with videography. In today's market, I'd argue it should include drone footage if your property warrants it and it's available, 3D virtual tours, targeted social media advertising, and a strategy for reaching both local buyers and people who are relocating to our area. So ask the agent, walk me through exactly what you're going to do to market my home. Who are you trying to reach? What platforms are you using? What makes your approach different from sticking a sign in the yard? What analytics will you provide me on a regular basis? If they can't answer these questions, they're clearly not the right agent for you. Red flag number 3, pressure to price low. Now, I want to be careful here because there's a difference between an agent who pressures you to underprice your home so that it sells fast and they can move on, and an agent who's giving you honest feedback that your price expectations might not match the marketplace. The difference is in how they communicate it and whether they can back it up with actual data. A good agent will show you comparable sales, explain the market conditions, and help you understand how they arrived at their pricing recommendation. They will have a conversation with you about your specific goals and the timeline that works best for you and your family. A not so good agent will just push you to lower the price without really explaining why, or they'll tell you whatever you hear just to get the listing and then pressure you to reduce the price later. Red flag number 4, the part-time agent. Real estate can be done part-time, but selling your home requires someone who's available, who's plugged into what's happening in the market, and who can respond quickly when you get an offer or when a showing needs to be scheduled. So ask about their availability. Ask if they have a support staff or a team. Ask what happens if you have an urgent question on a Saturday afternoon. Red flag number 5, they talk more than they listen. Your agent should be asking you questions. They should want to understand your timeline, your goals, your concerns, your situation. If you're in an initial meeting and they spend the whole time talking about how great they are without ever really asking about you, that tells you something about how the relationship will go throughout the process. Green flags, what great agents do. Okay, we've talked about what to avoid. Now, let's talk about what you should be looking for. What are the signs that you found a great agent? Green flag number 1, clear, proactive, regular communication. I know I already mentioned this in the red flag section, but it's worth emphasizing on the positive side too. Great agents over-communicate. They set expectations up front. They tell you exactly what to expect at each stage of the process, and then they follow through. So ask them, how often will I hear from you? How will you keep me informed about showings and feedback? What's your typical response time if I call or text you? Green flag number 2, a documented marketing strategy. Great agents can show you their marketing plan, not just tell you about it. They show you. They might have a presentation, examples of previous listings, or a detailed checklist of everything they do to market a property. And their marketing should go beyond the basics. Yes, professional photography, but there should also be video tours, social media strategy, targeted advertising, email marketing to their database, outreach to other agents who have buyers looking in your area. Some agents, and this is becoming more and more common, are also integrating AI into their marketing to do things like analyze buyer behavior, optimize ad targeting, and identify potential buyers more efficiently. That's the kind of forward-thinking approach that you want. Green flag number 3, local market knowledge. When you talk to them about your neighborhood, they should light up. They should know recent sales, know what's coming on the market, know what buyers are looking for in that area. So ask them, what have you sold in my area recently? What's the buyer profile for my neighborhood? What are the biggest selling points of my location? And what might be some challenges that we would face? Green flag number 4, a strong professional network. Great agents have great relationships with other professionals, lenders, inspectors, title companies, contractors, and this matters more than you might think. When issues come up during a transaction, and issues will always come up, you want an agent who can pick up the phone and get things handled quickly because they have those relationships that have been built on trust. Green flag number 5, they help you make informed decisions. A great agent isn't just there to execute your instructions. They're there to help you understand your options and make the best decision for your situation. For example, if you're thinking about selling but not sure if it's the right time, a great agent will walk you through the analysis. They might even help you consider alternatives, like whether renting your property might make more sense, depending on your specific goals. That's what full service really means. It's not just about completing the transaction, it's about making sure the transaction is the right move for you. Green flag number 6, results that back it up. At the end of the day, you want an agent who gets results. Ask about their average days on market compared to the market average. Ask about their list to sales price ratio. Ask about how many transactions they closed in the last year. Numbers don't lie. If an agent's listings are selling faster and closer to asking price than the market average, that's meaningful. Questions to ask before you hire an agent. Let me give you some specific questions you can ask when you're interviewing agents. And yes, you should interview more than one. This, too, is an important decision to just go with the first person you talk to. So, question number one: how long have you been in real estate and how many homes did you sell last year? Experience matters, but recent activity matters too. You want someone who's actively working in today's market, not someone who sold a lot of homes 5, 6, 7 years ago, but has slowed down. Question two: what's your average days on market compared to the market average? This tells you how effectively they're pricing and marketing. If their listings are selling significantly faster than average, they're doing something right. Question three: can you walk me through your marketing plan for my home? Listen here for specifics: professional photography, video, social media, print marketing, open houses, broker outreach, online advertising. If they can't give you details, that should be a concern. Question four: how will you determine the right price for my home? They should talk about comparative market analysis, recent sales, current competition, and market conditions. They should be able to explain their reasoning. Question five: how often will I hear from you and how will you keep me informed? This sets expectations for communication up front. You want to know you'll be kept in the loop. Question six: what happens if my home doesn't sell? This is a good one because it reveals how they handle challenges. Do they have a plan B? Are they willing to adjust strategy, or do they just shrug and hope for the best? Question seven: can you provide references from recent clients? Any agent should be happy to connect you with their past clients who can speak to their experience. Question eight: what sets you apart from other agents? This is their chance to tell you why they're the right choice. Listen for specific differentiators, not just generic claims. Question nine: do you have a team or a support staff? This helps you understand what happens when the agent is unavailable and how transactions are managed. Question 10: what's your commission structure and what's included with that? Understand what you're paying for. Is staging included, professional photography, marketing materials? Know what you're getting for what you're paying for. The interview process. So how should you actually go about finding and interviewing agents? Start by asking for recommendations from people you trust: friends, family, coworkers who've recently bought or sold. Ask your lender if you have one. Ask other real estate professionals you might know. Then, do your online research. Look at their reviews. Look at their social media presence, their website. Do they seem professional? Are they active within the marketplace? Narrow it down to 2 or 3 agents and then schedule consultations with all of them. Most agents will come to your home for a listing presentation at absolutely no obligation. Then, during those meetings, pay attention to how prepared they are. Did they do research on your property before they arrived? Did they ask good questions? Do they listen? And then trust your gut. This is someone you're going to be working closely with through a significant life event. You should feel comfortable with them. You should feel like they genuinely care about your outcome, not just about getting another listing. Take your time with the decision. The right agent will be happy to answer your questions and won't pressure you to sign immediately. Final thought and some resources. All right, let's wrap this up. Finding a highly rated real estate agent here in Central Arkansas comes down to a few key things. Look for someone with a proven track record, strong communication skills, a clear marketing strategy, and genuine local expertise. Watch out for the red flags we talked about, and don't be afraid to interview multiple agents before you decide. This is your home. This is your money. You deserve an agent who's going to treat it that way. If you found this video helpful, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing more videos in this series about selling your home here in Central Arkansas, covering everything from preparing your home to sale, understanding the closing process, and more. And if you've had questions or you're thinking about selling and just want to have a conversation about your specific situation, I'd be happy to help. You can visit my website at ar-property.com and send me a DM on Instagram at Your Little Rock Realtor, or just give me a call or text directly, 501-804-9942. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.